Hello everyone. We have seen earlier that fiber diameter measurement. So in the fiber diameter measurement, we have studied that what are the outer diameter of the fiber and this one use, that is about a shadow method. Next about a core diameter measurement. In a core diameter measurement, generally if you see that there are the two types of fiber, that is step index fiber and gradient index fiber. So in the case of a gradient index fiber, is that value of refractive index gradually changes. So there is continuous variation from the refractive index from the core and caddy. And if you see that it's step index fiber, that that refractive index changes from the step and the interface between the core and cladding. To obtain the refractive index for the core and cladding, so we should use the same technique earlier for the measurement of the outer diameter. So measurement of a core diameter can be obtained by measuring the refractive index profile of the core, and in this case it is necessary to define the core as an area with a refractive index above a certain predefined value if the refractive index profile measurement are used to obtain the core diameter. Core diameter measurement is also possible from the near field pattern of a suitable illuminated fiber. So measurement may be taken using a microscope equipped with a micrometer, eyepiece similar to that employed for offline outer diameter measurement. So these are the way to measure the core diameter. That is the part A of your measurement. Part B, it consists of wavelength division multiplexing, dense wavelength division multiplexing, and these are some use of this DWM. Then we go ahead with Sonnet HDH, and so mux and some component of WDM and the optical switching. We try here with the wavelength division multiplexing. So multiplexing in a communication, that is TDM or FDM use, but in the case of a optical fiber, that wavelength division multiplexing is used, because in an optical link there are many different wavelengths that can propagating through the fiber. So then we need to combine all the wavelengths in a single component or single device through the single device. So then all these wavelengths multiplex using the multiplexer, and then it is propagating through the fiber. So using this technique, the capacity upgrades. So means your WDM can increase the capacity of the fiber network. Then transparency, that is WDM, is that each optical channel can carry any transmission format. Wavelength routing, the use of wavelength sensitive optical routing device makes it possible to use wavelength as another dimension in designing the communication network and switches. But in the case of a wavelength routing, so you see that there are some restrictions regarding the wavelength, because we have a coupler and mux and demux we are using at the WDM. So regarding the coupler, there is restrictions regarding the wavelength, is the operating wavelength. Wavelength switching, whereas the wavelength routed networks are based on rigid fiber infrastructure. Wavelength switch architecture allows reconfiguration of the optical layer. There are the different switching networks, and that can be used for the communication, either single way, double way, single hop, multi hop. Then there are various types of network there, network architecture we will learn. So this one is about your wavelength division multiplexing. In general, a point-to-point links, we consider that a signal is transmitted and using any source through the optical fiber. Now that particular source, it has a narrow line width. So if you consider a single source, in that case the transmission occurs through the fiber. It is nothing but very narrow bandwidth. So we can use that instead of a single fiber. If you go ahead with a multiple wavelength propagating through it, so we need a number of sources for that to propagate the signal. Now these are the various transmitters for the WDM network. If you see that, so there are the various transmitters, and each transmitter it has a different wavelengths, and all those wavelengths are combined. So that's why we use the wavelength multiplexer, and through the multiplexing technique we can propagate the signal through the fiber. And at the other end we have wavelength demultiplexer, and this one we received the signal. So here the use of multiplexer is to combine the optical signal from the various sources into a serial spectrum of a closely spaced wavelength signals and couple form onto a single fiber. So the receiving end demultiplexer separate the optical signal into a appropriate value of a wavelength there. So this one is a part of a wavelength division multiplexing. Now when we are using this type of a transmission, so we should know that what transmission window is to be used so that the signal can propagate through the system. Otherwise, the fiber has a lot of losses because of that particular wavelength will not operate at the specific value. So the graph indicates that at this particular wavelength attenuation will be high, attenuation will be low. So these are the specific wavelength that can be used for the communication. You can say that single window, first window, second window, third window, and at this particular wavelength, this one 14th in this one here, we can use a wavelength division multiplexing. So the graph indicates that wavelength division multiplexing operate in a different band, that is L band and C band, and these are the frequency range and what will be the range of wavelength is given. Dense wavelength division multiplexing, it has various sources, sources with a stable narrowband emission wavelength. It has a tunable optical filters, add drop filters, or we can say that multiplexer there, broadband optical amplifier, optical cross connect. So in addition to those, so it has a optical directional coupler, wavelength filter, optical isolator, optical equalizer, polarizer, rotator, circulator, wavelength interleavers, and all those are work in this L band or a C band there. So this wavelength division multiplexing. So here that wavelengths, or you can say that operating band, are very narrow. So that's why we can say that it is a dense WDM. And in WDM, separation is there in the wavelength, and dense There is a lot of narrowed wavelength it used there, and here we are this one is a transmitter, this one is a receiver. So along with that, we can use the filters, we can use the amplifier through this. These are the various components that we can use in the WDM. Then we learn here optical add-drop multiplexer. Add-drop multiplexer means what? It has mux and demux. Some output of demux are connected to a main input of the mux, and each output of the demux not connected to an input of the mux is connected to a receiver. Each input to the mux is not connected to an output of the demux, is connected to the output of the transmitter modulator. So add-drop multiplexer using optical devices are called a optical add-drop multiplexer. That's when about the signal drop, signal added here. That is the case of an add-drop multiplexer. Here is the extended add-drop mux. So this one we have the transmission window, we say these are the dropped wavelength and these are the added wavelength. So here transmitter, these are the received here, and these are the tunable fiber grating. Fiber grating is why it is separating those fiber. We should know that what are the wavelengths it is operating. The component of this add-drop are end nodes, sources or destination data, optical router, direct each incoming optical signal to an appropriate outgoing fiber. So if you consider that this is the case of end node here, so this end node EX EY has the transmitter receiver, and they have tuned to the given wavelength. That about the given wavelength, you can say the data in electronic form is the input to the transmitter, and it's converted to an optical signal using the wavelength clamp. We are getting the different wavelength. Then this optical signal wavelength is routed through a number of intermediate end nodes. These are about the end nodes we have in the transmitter there. Task of end node: receive optical signal from the preceding node, separate the different optical signals on the input fiber. So we use a grating technique, fiber grating technique, or filtering to remove the or to separate the optical fiber there, or that optical wavelength. Wavelength separator we say, fiber grating we say, convert incoming signal intended for itself to electronic form. We can process those signal from the end node, and those optical signal that is to be communicated to the other node, it is to be transmitted. Then it combines the optical signals and these optical signals using the outgoing fiber from itself. So here a optical network, it indicates that point-to-point communication in an optical network. Simple transmitter, separating wavelength, mux, optical amplifier, fiber link here, demultiplexer in the receiver data. Simple communication optical network. Then we can say that a WDM network is categorized by the broadcast and select network and a wavelength threaded network. So there are the types here. So this is generally point-to-point communication in an optical network, and if you see that, we can consider that a broadcast or a wavelength threaded. So we can say that that specific wavelength is propagating through the fiber there. So for this broadcast and wavelength threaded network, it has a specific wavelength. So we'll see that the broadcast and select network. So generally, if you see the diagram here, so it has